the most ziniest kidnapping in history.
Wednesday, November 9th,
Check it
1983.
out.
The CEO of Heineken walks in the entrance of his Amsterdam office. It's almost 7 p.m. and his driver, Ab Doderer, is waiting outside. Two women.
Who?
The CEO of Heineken walks in the entrance of his Amsterdam office. It's almost 7 p.m. and his driver, Ab Doderer, is waiting outside.
Type shit.
Two women step out before him. Heineken is the last to leave. He shuts the door and looks around for his armored Cadillac, but it's not there. Doderer is parked further away than usual. As he steps onto the sidewalk, he gets grabbed by the back of his suit jacket. One woman screams, pulling on the assailant's sleeve. Two other men approach, and one sprays the woman in the face with tear gas. The other waves a handgun around. Heineken drops to the ground. The two men try to drag him away, but he struggles. He yells for his driver Ab, who is already coming to his aid. But before his driver can reach him, a fourth man intercepts Doderer, and they begin to struggle. Heineken is forced into the back of an orange van. Ab is thrown in after him. Both men lie on the cold hard
He done got kidnapped, bro. Trying to save his homie, bro.
floor of the vehicle. Their hands and feet are shackled.
I'm not gonna lie, that's dope.
Their heads are covered with taped over motorcycle helmets. Darkness swallows them. 90 minutes later, a package arrives at a small police station in The Hague. In it is a letter that demands millions for the safe return of the CEO of Heineken and his chauffeur. One of the most extensively planned kidnappings in European history has begun. A kidnapping planned for more than 2 years and the largest ransom ever demanded in Europe. This is the story of the kidnapping of Freddie Heineken. This video was sponsored by Udo, and it was only made possible by the research done by... Special thanks to Tyler and Garian. It's New Year's Day, 1981, 2 years before the kidnapping. A man is driving to meet his best friends at their hideout. It's almost midnight, and he's running late. He pulls into the street and parks outside. The apartment is on the second floor of the 99 Van Halstraat. They named the hideout after the flower shop below it. Paradise. He sees two familiar cars, a red Saab Turbo and a bronze Mercedes. Two of his friends are already here. He enters the building and climbs the stairs, walking through an already open door. They're lounging on leather armchairs. There's champagne on ice, and the New Year's countdown is playing quietly on the TV. Soon, the clock strikes midnight, and he clears his throat. Look, over the last few years, the four of us have done some good business, and some...
My fault, chat. I'm on my phone. I was basically running down the time of the stream, bro. So I was playing like pretty much for like 3 hours. I was jotting down like the time we're doing this reaction so it can go on the YouTube.
Sometimes earn decent money. We drive smart cars, carry thick wallets, go on nice vacations, and can always buy around in the bar. On the surface, nothing is wrong. But I feel we have been picking up scraps. The banks are being difficult, and the tax man is annoying. The market is collapsing, and interest rates are high. Even the construction business has gone bankrupt. In short, I'm asking myself, what are we doing? Our cars will be gone, our horses will be off the course, and our boats out of the water. Everything gone. Is that what we want? Can we allow that? Well, I'll tell you straight out, I would rather die. I believe that the time has come for us to take an important decision. A shot at all or nothing. To hatch a plan that will solve all of our problems in one go. Permanently. And I mean permanently. This group eventually became a team of 5. The man speaking is Cor van Hout. His friends call him Flip or Flipper for his childhood obsession with pinball. He is a notorious horse gambler and owns real estate across Amsterdam. He is the mastermind behind Operation Heineken and is 26 years old. Sitting on the couch is his right-hand man, Willem Holleder. He's muscular. His nickname is The Nose, for no apparent reason. He's 25 years old. Next to Willem, Frans Meyer nods in agreement. He's one of Cor's oldest friends. His nickname, The Professor. Nothing gets past him. He's 30. The fourth member that will eventually join is Jan Boulaert. Although he was missing that night, he's a crucial part of the gang. His nickname is the Cat, because he always tilts his head while he listens. He is the oldest of the group at age 31, and is extremely handy with tools. The last member that will join is Cor's younger half-brother Martin, who everyone refers to as Brakes.
Yeah, the driver.
He is the youngest and also the most clueless of the group. But he's skilled at stealing cars. The orange Renault van drives off. Jan Boulaert is behind the wheel. In the passenger seat is Frans Meijer. Cor and Willem are in the back, standing over the victims. On the Weteringschans, the nose looks in the rearview mirror and notices an off-white Mercedes taxi following them,
Don't need it.
but they're unfazed. They had planned their escape route meticulously. They would ride past Frederiksplein, the Servatiestraat, and the Amstelbrug, eventually turning right onto the Weesperzijde, which would bring them onto the A10 highway, where they take the exit onto the Basisweg towards their holding location. But to get to Frederiksplein, they had to
I have no water, chat. Damn, bro. BNB. And I'm back just like that. If you ask me how I did it, I don't know, bro.
cross a major obstacle.
Alright, so they
Highway, where they take the exit onto the Basisweg towards their holding location. But to get to Frederiksplein, they had to cross a major obstacle. This is the Weteringschans intersection. If they were forced to come to a stop here, they'd be sitting ducks. So in preparation, Brakes had learned how to hack traffic light boxes. He would look out for the orange van, and in case
So you telling me each one of them, they just have a good procession to kidnap somebody? Okay.
they encountered a red
Everything just
light,
adds up, right?
would quickly change it to a flashing orange, giving them right of way. A great idea, but this night was different. On the way to kidnapping Heineke, they spotted 15 uniformed police officers doing routine traffic stops at the intersection. They were forced to take a gamble. They couldn't risk Martin fiddling around at the traffic light box and getting spotted. They told him to go home earlier. Now, the Weteringschans intersection was the most risky part of the entire drive, and they didn't even know that the taxi driver behind them had notified his superiors, who had forwarded that information immediately to the police. It was the worst possible time to have to stop in front of a group of police officers. But when they arrive at the intersection, the police are gone. Willem tells Boulaert to run the red light. Whoa, whoa, not so fast there, buddy. All I want to do is take a bit of your time to talk about Udo. Does that sound good? Great. Udo is the best business.
Oh, bro. I gotta lie. Yo, W, like little, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
So they don't stop in the middle, but drive forward. The men exit the vehicle quickly. In haste, Cor drops a duffel bag filled with Uzis and ammunition, and smashes a pair of glasses on his way out. Bull later walks towards the taxi driver with gun in hand, who gets the message, quickly backs up, and drives off. Heineke is transferred into a white Citroën GS, parked conveniently on the other side of the tunnel. Van Hout takes Doderer and puts him in the back of a second car, a Renault 20. Willem hops in. They drive to the A10 Beltway, passing the Rij, and take the turn off Havensvest towards the industry terrain, the Heining. The men pull into the open doors of a steel Romney shed and close them. The entire abduction took no more than 35 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sorry for pausing the video a lot. But yo, the way they animated this video is so fire, bro. I've seen this one. I've seen like another streamer react to this one. It was actually pretty fire.
The captives' clothes are burned except for IDs and Heineken's watch. They head back to their favorite bars in Amsterdam to build an alibi. It's 90 minutes after the kidnapping. At a small police station in The Hague, an anonymous package is dropped off. It contains a Dutch letter written on German paper along with the passport and ID of Ab Doderer and the watch of Freddy Heineken. They demand a ransom. All publicity must be stopped and searching is prohibited. They request thousands of banknotes in various currencies and denominations in order to make tracing more difficult and spending easier. The banknotes must have been circulated several times and randomly numbered. The banknotes are to be secured with 2 elastic bands and packs of 100 and placed into 5 Dutch mailbags. They end the letter with further instructions for the handoff. Once the police have complied with all demands, they must signal the kidnappers by placing a message in a newspaper. The meadow is green for the hare. For future negotiations, the police will be referred to as the hare, the kidnappers the eagle. A 72-hour countdown begins. While the police had no time to prepare, the kidnappers had years. The police are flailing. They need more time and take a bold risk, one that could cost the victims their lives. Freddie Heineken snaps awake as the door to his padded cell opens. He's lying under a blanket on a bare mattress, wearing a set of cotton pajamas. In the corner, there's a chemical toilet without any chemicals, a safety precaution. Music is playing from a tape deck, endlessly looping the same album and masking any outside noise. The cells are located in the back of a 38 by 9 meter Romney shed. The shed is located on an industrial estate outside of Amsterdam and is owned by the kidnappers. Normally, it's used as a workshop and filled with tools, but the shed now also contains a camper van used as a base by the kidnappers. Within the shed, Freddie Heineken and the chauffeur are nowhere to be found. Virtually impossible to see is the hidden double door on the back wall. It leads to a short hallway with a 3.2 by 7.8 meter cell on either side. Built exclusively out of construction materials bought from Germany, the cell's floor and ceiling consist of 2 steel reinforced concrete slabs. All walls are built using B3 concrete blocks, weighing 10 kilograms apiece. Surrounding the primary wall is a secondary wooden wall, leaving a 60 centimeter air gap filled with sawdust. To finish it off, more layers of insulation are added onto the inside of the cells and outside the secondary wall. Hope for escape is virtually zero. A kidnapping consists of 3 phases: the abduction, the negotiations, and the ransom collection.
Yeah, I'm talking like they
The 2-year operation was funded by the kidnappers with a budget of roughly 100,000 gulden. They spent hours studying famous foreign...
I'm sorry, what currency?
The 2-year operation was funded by the kidnappers with a budget of roughly 100,000 gulden. They spent hours studying famous foreign kidnappings. Each case was thoroughly discussed, playing out scenarios and the problems that they might face. Their victim had to be rich and able to pay fast. This narrowed their options. The royal family and famous politicians were thrown around, but discarded. The royal family was sacred. Like any politician, it attracted too much heat. They didn't want the kidnapping to become a political statement. There was Wisse Dekker, the CEO of Philips, a wealthy prospect but located in Eindhoven, too far from their home turf in Amsterdam. Anton Dreesman, director of Vroom & Dreesman, was another, a solid choice in terms of wealth but not in risk. He had health troubles that would be too unreliable during a long kidnapping.
Ain't no way they get away from it.
They didn't want to become murderers. Albert Heijn was also a serious choice, the CEO of the largest supermarket chain in the Netherlands. He was rich, young, and had little security, but negotiating with a supermarket just had weird vibes. Albert Heijn was crossed off. The CEO of DAF Trucks was also considered for a moment, but the kidnappers weren't morons. A Dutch car company. They wanted to...
All these companies they mentioning, they just all foreign countries, bro. Like, not foreign countries, but like, we don't know them here in the U.S. because, you know what I mean, it's across the world, guys, if y'all didn't know for...
To be rich.
Some of them here, though.
Finally, there was Freddie Heineken, an incredibly wealthy Amsterdammer. Unlike the others, he also gave them a motive. Hollader's father gave his working life to the Heineken company, only to be fired and take out his drunken anger on the family. The choice was clear, but now the real work began. At the scene of the abduction, the police find broken glasses and a bag filled with Uzis. They also find a stolen van, which they're able to trace to a dealership. They learn that there was another stolen car, an Opel Kadett. The police are on the hunt. They now know that the organized gangsters left in haste, and there was another car waiting to be found. But this was all part of Cor van Hout's plan. The bag of Uzis wasn't found, it was planted. Cor van Hout left it so that the police thought they were dealing with a heavily armed gang from Germany, not some Dutch dudes in a shed. The glasses weren't smashed by accident, but placed strategically. Korn knew they would be studied and waste the investigators' time. He knew that the stolen van would be traced back to a dealership, where they would learn about the second stolen car, the Opel Kadett. That Opel was abandoned in a parking lot in Breda, close to the Belgian border. Once found, the police would suspect that they had left the country. Practically all their equipment, from the paper they used to the typewriters to their disguises, were all bought across the border. Any evidence that Heineken tried to take with him after the handoff would lead the wrong way. They had him, and the police were following the wrong trails. The first phase of the plan, the abduction, was complete. The second began.
I don't know what I'm clapping for, but bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is insane, bro. The way they just did all that, so they basically untraceable, and the cops might think they're out the country is crazy, bro. A lot of time I had to plan all that, bro.
For the negotiations, they had to communicate with the police without revealing anything. So they recorded tapes of Ab reading out their demands, which they played at random telephone booths. This prevented any negotiations from the police, forcing them to respond through newspaper ads. They created a one-way channel for communication. The police could only accept or reject, but never barter. They knew how to kidnap, and they knew how to negotiate, but they had one more heavy problem to solve. Money. The larger the sum, the harder it is to move. The men calculated exactly how much 200 banknotes would weigh. They then replicated the stacks of money with equally sized blocks of wood. One mailbag filled to the brim weighed a staggering 100 kilograms, the equivalent of throwing around the weight of a limp adult male. They established that 5 bags was the limit of what they could carry. They counted up all the blocks. They were only 350,000 short of 35 million guilders, exactly what they were hoping for. They knew how much money they could move, but now they had to solve how to move the money without getting caught. This is the handoff problem. The kidnappers want to minimize interaction with the police while receiving the ransom as fast as possible. But moving half a ton of cash is easier said than done. Franz Meyer suggested the
first ton of cash, bro. I mean, maybe if you put it like over your shoulders and you start running, maybe. But realistically speaking, bro, if you ask for a whole bag of cash to be put, let's say, put somewhere, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the street, bro, and then you be like, just leave it there, bro. They're gonna trace it. They literally gonna put like maybe like a tracker on it, bro. They not dumb, bro. They're gonna put a tracker, or they're gonna have a sniper watching from the nearest fucking high top, bro.
First plan.
Not that easy, bro.
The police should drop the ransom into a small boat. The boat is connected to a rope. It is then pulled across the water to the other side, where the men are hiding. No bridges are close to the location. They simply drive away. Cor van Hout suggests that they copy the vacuum delivery system of a local department store. Dressed as roadside construction workers, the men bury half a kilometer of plastic tubing, hook it up to a vacuum machine, and suck the money through. They never face the cops directly. The third plan is to steal a houseboat. A secret tunnel is used to board the craft undetected. Once on the houseboat, they pack the money in lead casks, slowly take off, and drop them through a hole in the hull. They deposit the cash at the bottom of the river, where they could later retrieve it in diving suits. They were all good options, but they weren't perfect. Cor van Hout needed something better. A plan that would make the police squirm. It's Tuesday, the 15th of November, 1983, 6 days after the kidnapping. The police are called and hear the voice of the chauffeur, Abdoderer.
This is an instruction for the hare from the Eagle. The hare will depart in the white VW transporter van within the next 10 minutes. Instruction: drive to the Hilton Hotel at Schiphol Airport. At the entrance to the hotel, you will find new instructions buried in a plastic container at the foot of the first lamppost on the right. Follow these instructions exactly. If the VW van is followed by anyone at all, it will be the end of them.
It's the middle of the night, and Van Hout, Holleder, Boulaert, and Meyer sit in a dark apartment, overseeing the Koentunnel Road. By tomorrow night, the men will be rich beyond belief. They're watching with binoculars, waiting for a police officer to drive past in a VW transporter. They had instructed the police to mark the van with 2 large red crosses, making it easier to spot. But as the kidnappers watch, hours begin to pass. The van still hasn't driven by. They made it clear in their letter that if the police didn't act, Doderer and Heineke could buy back their lifeless bodies. The only explanation is that they missed the van. But that's not a problem. Brakes is still at Schiphol, waiting to call them when the police arrive. The 4 men move to the next position for the ransom handoff. A Hanomag van parked in the outskirts of Utrecht. But as 5 a.m. passes, they still haven't received a call. When 8:30 rolls around, the men lose hope. The police aren't going to show. In a desperate play for more time, the police gambled with the lives of Doderer and Heineke. Cor van Hout is furious. The police gained time that they didn't have before. Parts of the plan for the ransom handoff have been exposed. But if the police choose to play them for fools, they deserve the same. Cor van Hout tells the police that they did irreparable damage to one of Heineke's and Doderer's fingers. And for 10 days, the police hear nothing. Ample time to worry about the mistake they made. But on the 10th day,
This is the Eagle. These are instructions for the Hare. Go to Utrecht Central Station, luggage locker 2150. Repeat, Utrecht Central Station, luggage locker 2150. Collect this assignment promptly and take it to De Ark in Noordwijk.
it's Sunday, November 27th, 2:30 a.m. The police collected the assignment from the luggage locker and are sitting in the house of Heineke with an employee of the company, anxiously awaiting the next call. Cor van Hout has changed things. They are no longer the eagle, but the owl. The police are no longer the hare, but the mouse.
This is the owl. This is a telephone instruction for the driver, the mouse. Make notes. The driver, the mouse, will leave within 10 minutes in the orange Renault van with the 5 bags of ransom money. Instruction: the mouse drives to the Euro Motel on the A4 just past Schiphol in the direction of Amsterdam. Near the entrance to the Euro Motel, further instructions are buried under the right-hand lamppost. Follow these instructions precisely.
For affordable home and style staples to help you set any vibe, Etsy has it.
Look, from the very beginning, football's been a conspiracy to make us hungry. Now let me tell you where it all...
Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But
Is this understood and will this be carried out? Answer immediately with yes or no.
Yes, the instructions are understood. We are ready to leave.
If anybody follows the orange van, all deals will be cancelled forever.
A police officer follows the first set of instructions. At the Euro Motel, he finds a note along with photos of Heineke and Doderer holding recently issued newspapers.
Drive to the southern province of Brabant, to the Texaco gas station called Zevenbergse Hoek, alongside the A16 motorway between Breda and Dordrecht.
Upon arrival, the mouse is told to order a cup of coffee and wait for the call from the kidnappers.
Follow the road to Breda. A plastic container is buried under a milestone along the way.
Hold on. Imagine being the cop that has to do all of this, but like, yo, just do what this paper says, or like, bro, like 2 famous people just get killed, bro. Oh my God. I said what 2 famous, like whoever the CEO, whoever they kidnap. I know they kidnapped 2 people, so like, yeah.
In Belgium and take the Rijsbergen turnoff in order to reach Utrecht via Tilburg using the A27. After taking the De Meern turnoff, drive towards Bizet Avenue in the Utrecht neighborhood Welgelegen. Further instructions are buried close to a numbered lamppost in the area of De Hommel restaurant.
Digging up the plastic container, the mouse finds another note and a set of car keys.
Transfer the ransom from your car into the Ford. Then take the Oudenrijn intersection and head towards the Maasbergen Motel in Arnhem to await further instructions. On the front seat next to you is a walkie-talkie under a piece of cloth. It is turned on. Remove the cloth, but do not touch the walkie-talkie. It is strictly prohibited for you to touch the walkie-talkie. Any instructions given to the mouse, the driver by the owl, have absolute priority and must be carried out immediately. The owl.
The green Ford Taunus was easy enough to spot. A woman's bicycle was strapped to the roof. Although the officer couldn't see it, it also had a single French headlight, which emitted a distinct yellow glow compared to the usual white. It was now almost 7 a.m., and the driver had been on the road for hours with no end in sight. He drives over the Maarsbergen overpass.
This is the owl with instructions for the mouse. This message has priority. This message has absolute priority. This is the owl with instructions for the mouse. Reduce speed to 60 kilometers per hour and follow the crash barrier. Stop at the red road cones. Put the bags containing the money into the hole that you will find there. Afterwards, follow your instructions. This message has absolute priority. This message has absolute priority.
The officer slows down, spots the cones, and comes to a dead stop. In front of him is a hole. Cor van Hout's plan was an elaborate scavenger hunt. He would lead the police down various twists and turns for hours, constantly keeping him moving, only to jump on the mouse at the last moment. The police officer did not stop at a river, a set of vacuum tubes, or a houseboat. He stops at an overpass that was found after driving more than 1,000 kilometers across the Netherlands. An overpass that met a few very specific conditions. Willem Holleder, spotter 1, standing on the edge of a field around 800 meters from the overpass. He is equipped with binoculars and a walkie-talkie. This vantage point means he can easily see the approaching car, but he is also visible to helicopters. Since he's located near an army base, the men decide to disguise him in an army uniform, both for camouflage from above and as a convenient excuse in case he runs into a farmer or hiker. Jan Boulaert, driver. Boulaert is behind the wheel of the getaway van. As the mouse approaches, he slowly drives the Hanemag under the overpass to ensure that it cannot be spotted from above. Frans Meyer, spotter 2. Frans gets out of the Hanemag and crouches in some nearby bushes. He watches the overpass, ensuring that the police officer is not followed, and letting the rest know over the walkie-talkie once he has left. Cor van Hout. Van Hout is sitting in the back of the van, ready to grab the cash. He hears the mailbag slide
That's like some GTA heist type shit. Holy.
down the storm drain into the underpass. As Cor exits the vehicle, he hears the faint sounds of helicopters overhead. Within 30 seconds, all 5 are in the van. Frans quickly checks that the mouse has left. They had chosen a stretch of highway without a roundabout close by, ensuring he could not turn around and come back. The 2 men get back in the van and Jan drives off. It's a tense drive. There's no sign they are being followed, and within 10 minutes they reach their final destination, a forest clearing near Zeist. The transfer happens in one smooth motion. Boulaert takes his foot off the gas, shifts down, and uses his handbrake to prevent the brake lights from turning on. If anyone was watching, they wouldn't know that the car had briefly stopped. Just slow enough to hop out, Meyer and Van Hout pull out the cash as he drives off with the van. They quickly pull the 5 mailbags over to where they buried several large plastic drums. Removing the top layer of dirt, they take out 2 sleeping bags and spread them over the forest floor. Sliced open with a penknife, 2 of the bag's contents are emptied and scanned with a frequency detector, stashed in the drums beforehand. They scan for any track.
They have frequency detectors, bro. So if they had any trackers on it, it would be
Devices hidden in the cache.
Wow.
The men worked furiously as the sound of helicopters seemed to come closer and closer. As the bags are dropped into the drums, each man removes his disguise. Wigs, gloves, and bulletproof vests join the weapons, coats, and other equipment already in the drums. Cor kneels down and pushes dirt over the lids. Frans places leaves and branches on top. The drums are nearly impossible to spot. Under their jackets, they are already wearing a race biking outfit. Recovering 2 silver race bikes from a nearby bush, the men hop on and get on the road. After 2 years of planning and 2 long weeks of holding Heineke and Doderer, it was over. Cor van Hout, Willem Holleder, Frans Meyer, Jan Boulaert, and Martin Erkamps had executed the most elaborate kidnapping scheme in European history. Adjusted for inflation, they collected a staggering 74.6 million euros.
That's basically like
Until
10
now,
million US
everything
dollars.
seemed and was orchestrated perfectly.
Wait, hold on. Did I hit 7 million?
Adjusted for inflation, they collected a staggering 74.6 million euros.
74? Bro, I thought it was 7 million, 10 million. Bro, 74, bro, million, bro. That's at least 85 million US dollars, bro. Wow.
Until now, everything seemed and was orchestrated perfectly.
Literally, bro.
But they missed something. On the 16th of November, the Heineken Corporation received a letter the police later called Item 547. It mentioned 3 names in connection with the wood workshop at the Heining: Cor van Hout, Jan Boulaert, and Frans Meijer. The tipster also mentioned their business dealings. This tip was never released.
Hold on.
On the 16th of November, the Heineken Corporation received a letter the police later called Item 547. It mentioned 3 names in connection with the wood workshop at the Heining: Cor van Hout, Jan Boulaert, and Frans Meijer. The tipster also mentioned their business dealings. This tip was never released to the public, but it led to the eventual capture of all suspects. It's speculated that during the kidnapping, the police had no substantial leads. It was the golden tip that actually brought the group into light. Whether the police would have eventually found them without it is a different matter.
I mean, if they never got caught, this wouldn't even be a video, because how they probably like opened up after they got caught and stuff.
But what is true is that the tip took away time from the gang that they would have had otherwise. The anonymous tip came one day after the first ransom rally should have taken place. The police's gamble paid off. If the ransom drop-off had gone according to the plan of Cor van Hout, they had 24 hours before the police even got the tip, giving them a much better chance for escape. 2 days after they hid the cash, Cor van Hout starts to notice that he's being followed by undercover police. Realizing that they've been found out, the men go back to retrieve 15 of the 35 million guilders, splitting it between the 5 of them. They then parted ways, promising each other that they would meet up again, as they always did, on New Year's Day in 1983 to retrieve the rest of the money. Jan Boulaert and Martin Erkamps were arrested first. Intercepted by police on their way to free Heineken and Doderer, they still had their split of cash on them, which was confiscated. Jan Boulaert was sentenced to 12 years in 1984. Due to his more limited involvement, Martin Erkamps was sentenced to 8 years. On Monday, December 5th, 1983, the rest of the ransom money, along with all other heist equipment, was found. According to police, a hiker had allegedly stumbled across several packs of 200 $100 bills. Frans Meijer turned himself in on December 28, 1983, after allegedly burning 3 million guilders in a manic frenzy, which funnily enough is only half of what he, according to Cor van Hout, had with him. Due to his psychological state during the first span of his incarceration, Frans was eventually put in the Peter
Bro burned like, oh lord.
Center for Psychological Evaluation. He managed to escape from the center and fled to Paraguay, where he started a family and ran a restaurant for many years.
Wow.
He was eventually tracked down in 1995 by Dutch crime journalist Peter R. de Vries. In 2002, he was extradited to the Netherlands, where he served until his release in 2005. Willem Holleder and Cor van Hout managed to evade the police until the 29th of February 1984. They had fled to Paris together, but they were eventually traced back to their friend's apartment through phone calls they had made to loved ones in the Netherlands. Cor van Hout was assassinated on the 24th of January 2003 in Amstelveen. The perpetrator was convicted in January 2019. His former best friend, Willem Holleder, the nose.
Wow. Wait. I'm gonna turn back that back.
Until the 29th of February 1984. They had fled to Paris together, but they were eventually traced back to their friend's apartment through phone calls they'd made to loved ones in the Netherlands. Cor van Hout was assassinated on the 24th of January 2003 in Amstelveen. The perpetrator was convicted in January 2019. His former best friend, Willem Holleder, the nose.
Yo, I didn't even get that the first time I was watching, bro. He got backdoored by his homie, bro. Wow. And they all got caught then, bro. Yo, W video, chat. Yo, clap it up, chat. That was a W video, bro. If you guys like this video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe.